Tonight, the Rocky Top Rowdies are ready to go in Knoxville, and why not? This season, this town has been upset city. The Arkansas Razorbacks are here, and the home fans are ready for a little pig roast. But they're also gonna say so long to 4 outstanding seniors. The SEC tournament is right around the corner. It's crunch time in K-Town. The Razorbacks involved are next on CSS. Thompson Bowling Arena has been a special place for the Tennessee Vols in this season, and for the final time at home, Tennessee gets set to take the court as they take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Taking a look at the standings now as we are just 1 week away from the SEC tournament across state in Nashville. Tennessee trying to strengthen its postseason position. Arkansas playing for an opening day bye at the SEC tournament. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dave Baker alongside the former Vanderbilt bomb squatter, Barry Booker. Barry, when you look at the implications for this, we've seen it's not a cliche. Anybody can win this SEC tournament, so the less you play, the better off you are, and that's what's motivating Arkansas tonight.
Yeah, we've seen it the last 2 years with Georgia 2 years ago winning the SEC.
Tennessee Vols, and Bruce Pearl told us earlier today, can they find the emotional level that they found just a few days ago when they had Kentucky here in Thompson Bowling Arena, and what a day it was for the Vols. They broke out the home orange uniforms, which they rarely do. And Barry, it was an impressive performance by Tennessee.
And Tennessee getting their second win over a highly regarded opponent with the win over Kansas earlier. A huge win for them, getting that victory over Kentucky. And also, it's senior night here tonight, so they have a lot of things to overcome emotionally getting ready for this ball game.
And there you see Tennessee's home record since 2006. You see what a force they've become in this building. As Bruce Pearl told us earlier today, the question is, can they recapture that emotional level? Will the crowd have a similar kind of emotional level tonight? He believes they'll need it against the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's the Hogs and the Vols. We've got the starting lineups and the opening tip when we come right back.
Scotty Hobson, kind of a wild card for Tennessee. Their leading scorer, but very inconsistent shooting the three-pointer.
Hobson's a guy that does it with his length and with his ability. Courtney does it with his relentlessness and his speed, does Courtney Fortson. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for Kentucky, Bobby Mays, J.P. Prince, Hobson, Wayne Chisholm, and Brian Williams. You look at this starting lineup, this is just the second time this season that Bruce Pearl has had the same lineup start in back-to-back games, Barry.
A very big starting lineup. J.P. Prince and Hobson, those wing players, a lot of size in that Tennessee lineup.
John Pelfrey, who's had his own set of challenges and issues to deal with in his 5th season now, and you see that winning percentage for the Tennessee coach. Take a look at the series history. Tennessee has dominated recently, and they have certainly dominated in this building. Tony Green set to throw it up. He's working with Pat Adams and Ron Gruber. And we are underway in Knoxville as the Vols control the opening tip and have it stolen right away.
Quick hands by Courtney Fortson and Marcus Britt combining to take it away from J.P. Prince.
Right down on the baseline, and the closeout. Arkansas has really established Marshawn Powell as their go-to guy, the outstanding freshman, but that time he shuffled his feet, and it's the first turnover of the game for the Razorbacks.
Great game for Marshawn Powell against Vanderbilt at 27 in that ball game. You see Arkansas applying the pressure.
Wow, Mays went right around Marcus Britt, but the ball was batted away, and Tennessee will inbounds underneath its own basket.
Looked like the Razorbacks were in a zone defense, but the help didn't get there very quickly at all as Bobby Mays made his move to the basket.
Wow, and now Hobson loses it. So Tennessee.
And for Tennessee, we talked about it being senior night and the potential for it to be a hangover with your routines altered pre-game, and as well as Tennessee coming off the win over Kentucky.
Courtney Fortson launched the three. He lost that mouthpiece of his down on the court. It normally hangs out more than it's in. And spinning in the lane, Prince has it blocked.
Mouthpiece still laying on the court, and see if Fortson goes for it.
Clark short on that three. That has been his MO here the last 3 weeks is he's an outstanding shooter but has not been able to find the range, and neither can Mays for the Vols.
Wasn't surprised by Fortson sticking it back in his mouth, but Washington going for it off the floor. And he's wiping his hand on his shorts.
You'd never do that before you had kids. Of course, I can't imagine that happening with the 25 kids at the Booker house or however many it was. Washington turns and is fouled.
Only half of that.
Newport News checks in, and Washington hits the second. We've got our first point of the night. And now the first basket of the night as the Vols beat the pressure. Williams gets it to Hobson for the finish.
How about that press breaker? The big center handling and delivering.
And Powell has it blocked by Hobson. Goes right back up. And Williams with a rebound.
It's that size for Tennessee. It is going to be tough to score around the basket.
Nice defense by Britt as he got the back tap of the steal. Vols turn it over for the third time.
Great anticipation by Britt. He knew Mays would cross over eventually and just almost waited for him to cross it over, and the easy takeaway.
Welsh gets it back to Fortson. Nice penetration and the lead for Washington as Fortson drew two to him.
Fortson so good putting it on the floor, getting to the basket, draws those defenders over, and then an excellent passer as well.
Arkansas gets its first bucket in 5 attempts. And Washington kicked that ball off the Williams pass.
Off to a pretty good start here in this building, which has been so difficult for opponents to win.
Williams regains control. And Prince almost had that cross-court pass stolen by Britt.
The Vols need to wake up. They look like they are sleepwalking through the early stages of this ball game. They've got to get themselves going.
Understandable. Huge, huge win. Bruce Pearl called it historic over Kentucky. As Williams gets free on the cut. Then you throw in the emotion of senior day. But some easy looks like that will help things.
Nice set there for Tennessee on their out-of-bounds play. They spread the Arkansas zone with their personnel, positioning guys out away from the basket. Easy score for Brian Williams on the cut.
Like Tennessee was maybe in a little zone. Now they switch back. Welsh. And Washington gets his second bucket off of a penetration and pitch. He's got 5.
Michael Washington, with that bad ankle, really playing well. He's had a back that's bothered him for most of the season as well. It's also a good start here tonight.
Hayes trying to use some clock. Nice pass underneath. Williams again with the delivery, and Prince, the beneficiary.
A couple of excellent passes from the big center, Brian Williams.
Williams, of course, one of those guys who lost close to 100 pounds since the time he came here to Knoxville. His issues on and off the court, well documented, but now he's getting back to the point where he's in the starting lineup, and you can see the difference that he makes. Bruce Pearl said he thought his biggest attribute was his basketball IQ.
And we've seen it on a couple of plays here in the open court, finding his teammates for easy baskets.
Stephen Pearl in there for the Vols, who have now turned it over 4 times. Cameron Tatum in there as well.
Tennessee typically does an outstanding job taking care of the basketball. Leader in the SEC in turnover margin. But so far, the quickness of Arkansas giving the Vols trouble.
Washington fades away. That was his first bad look, and Chisholm chases it down.
Couldn't get his balance there. You can see that ankle really bothering him.
Boy, a bad looking shot from Hobson.
Hobson was making them all today in the Vols practice. Not even close on that.
I hit them all straight on the practice team. A little different when the lights come on.
Yes, it is.
7 turnovers now between the two teams. Goins Melvin Goins, the 5'11 junior, just checking in and getting his first bucket. The smallest player as a scholarship player to ever play for Bruce Pearl.
Tennessee very good, of course, in transition. They like to score either early or very late in the shot clock.
Are you kidding me? But the Vols looking to get things going here against the Hogs. Tennessee's tournament resume, they have been tournament tested, and they're the only team in the country this year, Barry, that has beaten two #1 teams.
Yeah.
Two teams that were ranked #1 at one time. There you go.
The Vols having an excellent year once again. Coach Pearl finding a way with this team. They had the suspensions, of course, and he has had to push quite a few different buttons. You mentioned the 9 different starting lineups that Coach Pearl has used on the season, with this Vols team rounding into form as they move toward the madness.
Washington at the line, also checking in for Tennessee during the break. Skylar McBee, 6'3", 190. Look at those numbers. Washington now with all 8 of Arkansas's points as we're tied for the first time.
Well-deserved break for the big man, the senior. You can see that he is not moving very well at all, but not wanting to miss any of his last few opportunities to wear the Arkansas jersey. He's out there giving it a go and playing very well so far tonight.
McBee with a kick out to Goins, and Melvin Goins has come in and made an immediate impact for the ball.
Outstanding pass by Skylar McBee, getting into the lane, wide open jumper for Goins.
Goins coming to Knoxville via San Jacinto Junior College. He played his freshman year at Ball State. What a pickup for Bruce Pearl and company. Welsh not close with a catch and shoot, and it'll be Tennessee basketball. Bruce Pearl and John Pelfrey, two guys whose motor runs at about the same RPMs. Wide open.
Very intense guys. Trying to get their clubs to play with that same intensity. I think both coaches have gotten into their players tonight.
Boy, John Pelfrey has taken a timeout. Here's that motor wide open. He's going to try not to, but he is on the verge of lighting into somebody because Cam Tatum had the penetration, and that was too easy for Brian Williams.
Here go the Vols, the dribble penetration from Cameron Tatum, and 2 Razorbacks step up to attack him as he's driving into the lane. So easy for Brian Williams to slip in behind them. And Brian Williams playing very well for the Vols. A couple of baskets, a couple of assists. Vols rolling so far.
Speaking of assists, Tennessee has got 6 field goals. All 6 of those baskets have been assisted baskets. It looked to me like Delvon Johnson, number 21, was the man who got sucked in by that penetration. And he's the fellow who goes to the bench during the timeout, so I would say my assumption is correct.
John Pelfrey bounced off that bench in a hurry and get his club headed in the right direction and gets his big man, Michael Washington, back into the ball game. We'll see if the Hogs get it inside to him.
1 tie, 6 lead changes in this one. Fortune threaded the needle on that pass. It was a nice pass to get it through, but at the angle he got it through, it's so difficult for Washington.
Fortunate to retain possession.
Back to Fortune as the shot clock approaches 5. Boy, look at this mismatch. Fortune over Williams. Not the look that John Pelfrey wanted.
You got the mismatch, you got the quickness advantage. You want to try and race by the big guy. John Pelfrey not too excited about that last trip down the court for the Razorbacks.
The look on his face would tell you that's not the look he wanted. Tatum off the bounce. It's a pretty looking shot. And that is Tennessee's 10th field goal and the first that did not come via an assist. Clark, he's short again.
Hadn't heard much from him so far on the evening. Tennessee really tracking him.
Well, what a nice slap down by Fortune. Vols get it back though. And Tatum launches.
Tennessee struggles to shoot the ball from three-point range especially. They're doing a pretty good job so far tonight. They've had a couple of really good shooting opportunities.
Stephen Pearl going to get called for the hold as he...
That depth for Tennessee, a factor.
Ball's already played 10 players. Tatum lost it as he was going up after creating separation.
Really good move. Tatum has a bad ankle. He's just getting over that injury.
Wow.
I think Arkansas is a tired basketball team. They have gone through a lot this season with injuries, with suspensions, and I think they are a worn-down team. And this depth for Tennessee, I think, will be a huge factor in this ballgame.
The thing that Arkansas can't afford to do is to have empty trips. They've not only had empty trips, but they've turned it over and turned it into easy volunteer baskets like this one from Scotty Hobson as the Vols stretch it out at home. Arkansas, it's been all Michael Washington, Barry.
The only bright spot for the Razorbacks so far in this ballgame, Mike Washington doing good work around the basket. His teammates, especially Courtney Fortson, has done a good job finding him around the basket, and he has delivered. The Hogs need more of it.
Washington has all 8 of his team's points. The rest of his Arkansas teammates are 0 of 9. And that, coincidentally, 9 is the difference here as the Volunteers have stretched it out to a 9-point lead. Bobby Mays back in there for the Vols. So is Lane Chisholm. This Pearl has already gone 10 deep on his bench as we're not yet at the halfway point of this opening stanza.
Tennessee has been very smooth offensively, attacking the zone defense, mostly employed so far on the night by Arkansas.
Nice defensive job there by Marcus. Fortson open for the 3, and that is the first non-Michael Washington basket for Arkansas.
And it came through Michael Washington. Fortson passed it in there to him. The defense really collapsed around Washington. Fortson wide open for the 3.
And that also breaks a streak of 4 minutes where the Razorbacks had gone without a field goal. All that being said, they find themselves down just 6. Nice defense there by Washington as he jumps into the Arkansas bench, and they say that he knocked it off of Kenny Hall. But look at this. They love their Vols here in Knoxville.
A little marriage proposal on the Jumbotron.
And she said yes.
A senior night that they'll never forget.
How about that?
And that ball bounced off Michael Washington out of bounds. There's no question about that. And we'll see if they turn this call around and give it to the Vols, and they do.
And that's exactly what an officiating crew is supposed to do. Pat Adams getting some help from Ron Groover. And Prince couldn't get it to go, and back it goes to Arkansas. Hey fans, count on Sports Night every weeknight at CSS. Hear the latest news in sports around the South with some of the most Sports Night on CSS weeknights at 6 and 11 Eastern. Fortson couldn't get that one to go. Tennessee in transition. Prince is fouled as he made the pass. And Barry, for people that are watching this game tonight, Tennessee for just about the entirety of the Bruce Pearl tenure has been an up-tempo pressing team but he told us today he wants to give his club the best chance to win, so he's kind of ratcheted that back to fit his talent.
Yeah, and I think Tennessee and Coach Pearl a lot more comfortable this year with the weapons that they have available. This is a big physical team. They don't shoot it very well from outside, so they have become a club that really attacks you around the basket. They're playing bigger lineups, and I think this will be an effective group for Tennessee as they come down the stretch. Gives them their best chance to win by going big.
I think you could see that on that interior pass of Stephen Pearl, who's a role player, obviously, with a nice interior pass. And Chisholm at the line, Dave Baker, Barry Booker, our entire CSS crew here at the Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville. Senior night. And the senior Wayne Chisholm hits the free throw as his Vols lead the Arkansas Razorbacks in the early going of this one.
The Razorbacks can't be a very confident club right now. They lost 2 games in a row at LSU, giving the Tigers their first win on the year. And then Vanderbilt just hammered this club over in Fayetteville on Saturday. After they had played so well, they've struggled of late. Tennessee has gotten off to a good start on them. We'll see if the Hogs fight their way through it.
Despite that, Barry, Arkansas, for people that don't know, that's a nice catch inside and a finish by Marshawn Powell. Still tied for second with Ole Miss in the SEC West. They play Ole Miss on Saturday, and if they can wrap up second place in the West, despite everything that's happened, they get a round 1 bye in next week's SEC tournament in Nashville.
Impressive that the Razorbacks didn't quit on this season. I would not expect them to quit on this game either.
Washington gives it up and then tries to set a flying screen. And Stephen Pearl comes from way out of it. I don't know if we've got it or not, but I wish you could see his dad's reaction. His reaction was like, who was that?
LeBron-like in the open court, flying in over Courtney Fortson, not giving up on that play in the least. Looked like an easy basket for Arkansas. And Stephen Pearl says, no, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, mark your DVRs. I promise you that is the only reference you'll ever hear to LeBron James and Stephen Pearl in the same set, courtesy of Barry Booker. That would be like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito in Twins.
Oh, it's a mirror image on that play.
Wow. The Vols trying to put the stops on the Hogs here at home. Tennessee on top of Arkansas by a count of 21-13. We mentioned it was senior day. Put a familiar face on hand for the pregame ceremonies. Now, Jackie Pearl, you may have seen her sing the national anthem here in Knoxville before. That's the most interesting note I've ever seen in a stat sheet, that the Vols are 21-6 when Jackie sings the anthem. And Dad Bruce brings her out for the big games. Kentucky, Kansas, Vandy, Florida. Beautiful voice.
Yes, indeed.
Now, I'm not saying that he chooses the national anthem singers, but I would say he probably has
some influence.
I would think so.
No doubt about that.
His brother blocks shots. She gets the game going. And that is a bucket by Jamal Farmer. Second 3 for the Razorbacks, who all of a sudden pull within 5.
Hogs hanging right in there despite a strong start by Tennessee. 60% field goals early by the Vols.
Ian Chisholm brings the ball down. Washington gets the block, and Fortson will have a chance to complete a 3-point play. He had no thought about the fact his last one had gotten blocked by Stephen Pearl.
No doubt about that, and he uses his size very well. He's a small guy. He bounces off defenders, draws fouls as well as any guard in this league.
Arkansas with 6 straight out of the timeout to pull within a bucket. Owens hangs and can't hit. But look at Prince. Boy, he took a hard hit. It was
against Kentucky to seal it. 6 of 9 overall on the night from the line against the Cats.
As you mentioned, made the 4 big ones at the end. And again, that was when John Calipari and company were playing the percentages and putting a guy who who statistics said was not a very good free throw shooter, and he answered the call. Clark, that time he stepped into the shot and he knocked it down.
That time he was wide open, had time to gather himself, get securely on balance. Rodney Clark, excellent shooter.
And after a slow start from outside the arc, Arkansas had
hitting 13, but only missing 4. Amazing effort in that game by Rodney Clark. And teams have, that got everyone's attention.
Sure.
And he has gotten a lot of defensive focus the rest of the season.
Powell can't get the 3 to go, but Arkansas controls the offensive board. Fortson got caught just inside the line, but Farmer bails him out with a bucket.
Drags that pivot foot, no doubt, but gets away with it. Arkansas ties this game.
Second time we've been tied. All of a sudden, Tennessee's up 8 before that last time out, and Arkansas with 2 3-point plays. One, the 3-point shot, just like the one Wayne Chisholm knocked down. The other, an old-fashioned 3-point play. And that is just the second tray of the night for the Vols. Farmer into traffic. FanCSS-Sports.com is packed with everything you need to know for Glenn Bryant checking back in for Arkansas.
They struggled early in this ball game, but they have fought their way back into it. Didn't let the Vols get away from it.
Courtney Fortson, you see how important he is when you're just watching a game of this Arkansas team, but then you look at the numbers. As Bryant can't get it to go, and Washington is fouled. He and Chisholm got tangled. Chisholm and Prince with 2 fouls, 6 against the Vols here in this half. Next one puts the Razorbacks into the bonus.
And here we go to the line.
8, and that was his first non-double figure scoring game. But even though he only had 80, darn near had a triple-double.
Yeah, Vanderbilt did a good job of limiting his scoring opportunities, but he always gets his teammates involved.
Washington gets another rebound. That's his 6th of the first half. And look at Fortson.
Lost that mouthpiece again.
And the tap in underneath. Jamal Farmer gets it to go. And we're tied for the 3rd time tonight. Farmer doing a nice job on Hobson. Bobby Mays back in there, and Stephen Pearl puts it on the deck and kicks it out.
An example of what dribble penetration can do. Stephen Pearl, not a big scoring threat, but his drive into the lane draws the defense in and allows Hobson a really good shooting opportunity.
What a pretty pass from Steph Welsh to Washington.
Intentional foul called on Brian Williams.
Tony Green was emphatic about it too. There you see he's grabbing him.
Not playing the basketball. He's just trying to get Mike Washington to go to the foul line, not give him to know. So Mike Washington will get the 2 foul shots, and the Razorbacks will retain possession of the ball.
The home crowd doesn't like it. Bruce Pearl doesn't like it.
But accurate.
It's a judgment call. Tony Green is a Final Four official.
Yes.
He was right there underneath the baseline. And in his judgment, Williams didn't make a play on the ball.
And we've had several hard fouls in this game already. So I think some game management there by Tony Green as well, not wanting this situation to get out of hand, trying to calm things down by making a tough call.
So off the intentional foul, Arkansas will inbounds as well. Britt finds Welsh, and he's open. Somebody did not rotate out. I think it might have been Stephen Pearl, but no.
Skylar McBee getting the attention of his head coach right now.
That would be a mild way of putting it. Boy, and isn't this the way it goes as a player, Barry? Something bad happens to you, and you're right in front of the coach. Skylar McBee is sitting there saying, would you please break this huddle? Please,
Yes.
Ref, give me a whistle. Look at him. Ready to go.
It's been 30 seconds at least. 30 minutes it felt like for Skylar McBee.
It's like, get me out of here. John Pelfrey got to be happy with the way that his team has battled back to take their first lead since the 16:30 mark.
John Pelfrey using his bench well, and his bench responding here. Steph Welch just knocked down a three-point shot, as these reserves have not been very productive on the season, but they've done a pretty nice job here tonight for the Hogs.
And now there's another stoppage in play.
The next dead ball on reviewing those 2 and 3 situations. And again, not sure if that's the...
How about Dr. Booker coming through with that?
It's a timing situation. I think that's the issue. 4:05, boys.
I heard the whistle at 4:06. I don't know what Tony Green's going to say, but I heard it at 4:06.
You can see 4 minutes on the clock, so there was a problem there.
4:05. And now we're ready to go. It's Tennessee inbounds against the full court pressure being applied by Steph Welsh. Nice screen from Pearl. And a nice drive by Bobby Mays.
At his best when he's driving to the basket. Bobby Mays, not a very good three-point shooter, only 26%, but he does a great job when he puts it on the floor and gets to the rack.
Farmer way off balance.
Skylar, have a seat, sir.
And he draws the contest. McBee with a foul. And the Vols with a tenuous 1-point lead. Tennessee with a 1-point lead in a back-and-forth contest against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Barry, this is the time of year when people hear a lot about RPI, strength of schedule. What does it all mean come Selection Sunday?
Well, it all means whether you're getting in the NCAA tournament or not. Mississippi State leading the SEC West. You would think they're in great position, but you see 125th as far as their strength of schedule goes. That impacts their RPI. They still got work to do to make the NCAA tournament. Arkansas, 140th RPI. Of course, they go 7-8 in non-conference play. Struggled from that standpoint. But the East, obviously, from that graphic, you can see much stronger than the West.
Two things there, and you can make numbers say anything you want, but Arkansas had 4 players miss 25 games.
Sure.
Including Courtney Fortune, who was out with 14. That impacts that record. And then the bracketologist extraordinaire, Joe Lunardi, has Mississippi State currently right now is one of the last 4 in.
Yeah, and you would think with a 2-game lead in the SEC West that they would be securely in.
Stephen Pearl got the basket, but Pat Adams says no. Offensive foul, second foul against Pearl.
Great job by Mike Washington standing in, taking that hit. And a good move by Stephen Pearl getting to the basket. He has played a nice game, has let the game come to him for the most part. Of course, had that great hustle defensive play earlier in the ball game, blocking Courtney Fortson's shot. A good contribution from Stephen Pearl.
That was one of those calls where the secondary defender comes over, and the question was he outside of that 2-foot by 4-foot area? And Pat Adams said he was. You see the shooting numbers and how hot Arkansas has gotten. Included in that, they've hit 4 of their last 6 trays. And they started out 0 of 4 from outside the line.
Great pass by Mike Washington. Marshawn Powell, embarrassing. Didn't get the elevation on the slam.
Powell has had a tough time. He has played as well as any of the outstanding freshmen in the SEC this year, and there are many, but he has struggled tonight.
Looked like a freshman on that play for sure.
Hobson looked like a senior instead of a guy who's still got lots of time left here. First person in double figures as he leads the Vols with 10.
That size defensively giving Rodney Clark all kinds of trouble. Scotty Hobson doing a lot of the defensive work on Clark. Boy.
Washington has had some good looks tonight. That was not one of them. And Powell, after being rejected, comes up with a block of his own. Clark got a good look in transition. Couldn't get it to go, and then gets caught back on defense. And John Pelfrey is going to take a timeout.
And Tennessee so good in these type situations. When the ball pops loose, their players get their eyes up, look ahead, and their guys do a great job of leaking out when they have that opportunity to get those easy scores. Mays, the beneficiary there.
Saw the end of that play. Clark probably took a three that was quicker than his coach wanted, and then there was nobody back on defense. How about the SEC and the NCAA as we continue talking about the postseason and the bubble?
And I think there have been 72 NCAA tournaments played, and Kentucky participating in 50 of them. Amazing. I don't think anybody in the SEC is going to track them down. Arkansas at 29, a lot of those from their days in the Southwest Conference. And you see how the numbers drop off so dramatically. Florida, that great program, only 14 NCAA tournament appearances though.
Rocky Top Rowdies always ready to go no matter who the opponent. Powell with a spin on Pearl, and then the nice follow as he stayed with it.
He did stick with it. Missed the dunk, missed that easy shot there. Little 4-footer, missed it badly, but hung with it, able to get the lay-in. And Arkansas hanging with it as well, only down 2.
Thompson Bowling Arena is our site. Dave Baker, Barry Booker, our entire CSS crew. You would think Tennessee would be a big favorite over an Arkansas team that has struggled at times. But after knocking off number 2 Kentucky on Saturday, Bruce Pearl knew it was going to be one of these nights. And Fortson tried to create the contact and get a three-point play, but he actually ran into Pearl and lost it out of bounds.
Arkansas will retain possession there. Fortunate on that situation.
4 ties, 7 lead changes in this one. And Pearl got another block. That time he stopped Washington's shot. But on the follow, Powell is going to tie it for the 5th time of this half.
High-scoring game here. Tennessee is, I don't think, as comfortable in these high-scoring games. Unlike their teams of the last few years, this ball team, a great defensive club, and do a little bit better in the lower-scoring games.
Hobson can't get it to go. Tennessee 19-0 this year when they hold opponents under 70. Nice pass, but it was batted away. And Tatum is able to get the finish.
Good hands by Scotty Hobson to get that break started at the defensive end. And Cameron Tatum had just enough lift to get that ball on the rim. As we saw Courtney Fortson trying to make that pass across the court. And Cameron Tatum gets it up on the rim. Should have gone to the backboard there. I thought that one was going to roll off. A much higher percentage shot to put it up on the glass, get it softly on top of the rim, and get it home.
Well, from our angle right here, I thought that Fortson had threaded the needle. He's done it so many times before. But a nice defensive job by the Vols, and then they're able to finish in transition.
Arkansas should be able to hold for the final shot of the first half. A solid first half by Arkansas, as it looked like Tennessee was going to run off with this game at a couple of different points, but the Razorbacks have hung tough.
Last thing Arkansas wants to do is put up a shot and give Tennessee an opportunity at the other end, though. Here's Fortson, guarded by Mays.
They'll try to get into the lane and get fouled.
That time he gets it blocked. And there's that leak out you talked about. That time Clark gets back. And Tennessee, you see the Volunteers and their field goal percentage, and you see what they do when they shoot higher than 45%. Can they keep it up? We've got our halftime activities and a lot more when we come back to Knoxville in a minute. Dave Baker, Barry Booker back here with you at courtside at the Thompson Bowling Arena. Barry, we wondered how Tennessee would come out and play tonight after such an emotional win over Kentucky on Saturday night, and I think we've overused it, the hangover, whatever you want to call it. It's just not the same intensity on the part of the players or the people in this building tonight against Arkansas.
Well, they were a little bit shaky, especially early. I thought they kind of got it going, but Arkansas just hung right in there, fought their way to hang in this ball game. They're doing a nice job.
In terms of that, what Arkansas has done, they've taken advantage in transition when they could, and they got a big start from Mike Washington, who has been fighting in the Southeastern Conference, the postseason tournament next week in Nashville. It's the time of year when we start talking about postseason awards. And how about Player of the Year candidates? Barry, lots of highlights in what has been an entertaining first half.
An entertaining and relatively high-scoring first half for Arkansas was Mike Washington getting things going earlier. Jamal Farmer on the finish. And Tennessee in transition have been very good. Scotty Hobson, a couple of slam dunks for him in the ball game. And then always Wayne Chisholm with the headband flying, doing a great job scoring inside for the Vols.
The Volunteer fans still getting rowdy on Rocky Top, and their team will need them. We've got all the second half action coming up in a minute.
At the intersection.
The stat sheet on our Start Watch players.
And it's nice when our stars play like stars. Mike Washington having a nice first half, 9.6 boards for him. And Scotty Hobson has been excellent in transition, knocked home a three-point shot as well in the first half, playing well for the Vols.
One thing that has plagued both of these teams has been turnovers and assists. You had Tennessee that had 9 assists and 9 turnovers. Arkansas had 8 assists, but they turned it over 7 times. So the ratio, not so good.
Not so good there, but Arkansas with 7 offensive rebounds, they have gotten some extra scoring opportunities, and that has allowed them to stay in this ball game.
So Arkansas inbounds the basketball as they begin the second half of play. Fortson goes right down to Powell. That's the way they started the game. And on the kick out, Fortson can't connect.
Nice possession for Arkansas. They get it inside. Powell gets an opportunity, a good scoring opportunity from Fortson on the inside-out play. Just couldn't get the points.
Ryan Williams, J.P. Prince back in there after picking up 2 first-half fouls that put them on the bench for a time.
Chisholm as well, 2 first-half fouls.
And Mays hits the first three-pointer for the Vols in the second half. 7 for Bobby Mays.
Good job by Wayne Chisholm on the dribble penetration off his three-point shot fake. Able to get it to Mays for the jumper.
Washington goes to work on Williams. Then Britt travels with it. 9th turnover by the Razorbacks. And for those of you who may be joining us, Tennessee's largest lead was 9 at 17-8. There were 5 ties and 7 lead changes in the first 20 minutes of play.
Very entertaining first half, and the points continue. The Vols start well, getting a three-pointer early.
Nice turn by Chisholm. He's got 9 points, and on its first 2 offensive possessions, Tennessee's made it look pretty easy.
And Tennessee has gone to Wayne Chisholm to make it happen offensively here in the second half.
John Pelfrey immediately takes a timeout. It was too easy for his taste as well. The Vols have stretched it back out to an 8-point lead. (44-36). Tennessee Volunteers have come out and immediately extended their 3-point halftime lead. The margin now 8 as they take on the Razorbacks. Now, 8 SEC teams, 6 others besides these two in action tonight. But after tonight, Barry, here's a look at the remaining SEC games.
Well, got some good games coming up this weekend. Probably the biggest, Ole Miss at Arkansas, probably at the SEC tournament. And I don't think we'll see very much movement in the seeding from here on.
But if Florida could get a win in Lexington, should that solidify their postseason standing?
No way. Don't see them. Don't see them going there.
I said if.
Yeah, the Gators, their big loss was against Georgia on the road. That was a game that they absolutely had to have. One more win was all they needed. They have put themselves in a tough situation.
Hobson with a nice pass, and Prince missed it the first time, but got the putback. And Tennessee now with its biggest lead at 10.
3 trips down, 7 points for the Vols so far here in the second half. They are rolling.
Precious little resistance from Arkansas on defense during those 3 trips as well. Fortson with a long 3.
Arkansas doing a nice job there on the offensive backboards.
Fortson loves that baseline penetration, and that is a tough shot.
In among the trees for Tennessee, Courtney Fortson still able to get the finish.
9th point for Fortson. All right, Barry, let's...
And we could go back almost 20 years and you'll see 5 teams, 6 teams for the SEC. Until 2009, only 3 making the NCAA tournament. Only one of those teams winning. No one reaching the Sweet 16 last year. And I think that situation will change this season as 6 teams still have a chance. 3 are almost, 3 are locks for the NCAA right now.
Mays gets his second tray of the half. Tennessee 2 of 3 from outside the arc here in this final 20 minutes of play.
Vols absolutely rolling offensively to start the second half.
And Powell is able to get that one inside. First points that the Razorbacks had gotten inside the paint from a big man. Fortson had to reverse. And shot it off the bottom of the backboard.
Wayne Chilton, good job contesting without the foul.
At css-sports.com. The Hogs with 11 now. Just as soon as that lead got up to double digits, back to 7. Williams inside. Rush the shot. Clark couldn't get that little floater to go.
Vols doing a great job tracking Rodney Clark, not allowing him to get any open shooting opportunities.
Clark 1 for 6. That last shot he took, Barry, I believe if he could add that to his repertoire on a consistent basis, that would really open things outside for him.
And I think he can do that. He was just got to take his time a little bit more than he did on that last opportunity.
That was the first non-3-point shot he had taken. He's 1 of 6 from the field, 1 of 5 from outside the arc. Pearl on the deck, going to be called for the foul. It's his 3rd, and Dad is not happy. Powell works on him, and the Razorbacks trying to fight their way back. They've got a lot to dance and celebrate about here in Knoxville. 13th ranked Vols leading Arkansas by 7 here in the second half. There you take a look at the SEC Eastern Division standings, Barry, and there seems to be a theme there.
Yeah, the top 4 in the SEC East, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, and Florida, 22-0 combined, with Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Florida already done with the West. Complete sweeps of the SEC West. Tennessee against Arkansas here tonight, and then they're going to Mississippi State on Saturday. I'm sure we've never seen 4 teams in one division sweep the entire other division.
Boy, what a fight by Wayne Chisholm on the inbounds. I thought he had gotten the steal. Pat Adams whistles him for the foul, and it's the third against Chisholm.
A couple of tough calls in a row going against Tennessee. Stephen Pearl getting the foul right before we went to break, and here Wayne Chisholm trying to come away with that loose basketball, unable to do it, picking up another foul against Tennessee as the foul is starting to mount here on the Vols.
Thought it was a pretty good battle by those two guys early on, as you see Chisholm with that third here on senior night. One of 4 volunteer seniors. Chisholm, the first really high-profile recruit for Bruce Pearl, though, and he got a hand on that one and created the turnover.
Owens able to hit that pull-up jumper, and he is not bashful. Able to knock down another jumper for the Vols.
Here's Washington. Nice up and under as he used the rim to help protect his shot.
Washington looks like he's getting off the floor a little bit better. Certainly better than he did against Vanderbilt on Saturday. His ankle continues to improve.
Well, a couple of times during that game on Saturday when he went down to grab the ankle, and Arkansas just never really in that one, thanks to very much improved Vanderbilt basketball team. And there's another call that's going to go against the Vols, and Bruce Pearl has thrown the coach.
And I think that was a correct call as well, but delayed call from Pat Adams there. You see Washington get over, takes the hit in his chest. I think that was a charge there, but it took Pat Adams a while. Looked like he was thinking about counting the basket, and then at the last second, turns it the other way.
It looked like Tony Green, the underneath official, was going to wipe it off as well, as Clark gets free on the curl. And the Hogs take advantage as they've pulled back within 4. Boy, if Bruce Pearl doesn't get teed up here, he wanted a hand check.
He just did.
Oh, did Gruber team up?
Yep.
I was going to say if he didn't, he missed a good opportunity.
Coach Pearl saying, I'm inside the coaching box. I'm not using foul language here. Why are you teeing me up? Gruber thought he was a bit too animated there on the sidelines as Arkansas down 11 here in the second half at one point. They have fought their way back in again here in the second half as they did in the first.
Then Clark misses the free throw.
83% foul shooter. Don't see that very often.
Here's what coaches do. Look at what Pearl's doing. He's down there giving the business to Skylar McBee, and McBee wasn't even in the game.
Skylar has heard it repeatedly tonight out of his head coach.
You know what it's like, don't you? When you're a player, somebody will say, "Why is he yelling at that guy?" Because he can take it.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
McBee's just laughing.
Would love to know what Coach Pearl had to say there.
I'm going to ask him after the game. Not Pearl, McBee.
Yes. Gotten on Skylar earlier in the game for a couple of defensive lapses, but here Coach Pearl just agitated, upset.
I think he just needed to get something off his chest.
Yes, and he's trying to get his club going as well. I think that is the primary point here, trying to get this crowd rolling and his club.
Owens on the penetration, and Pearl with a basket.
This is as well as I've seen Stephen Pearl play all year, playing within himself, making the plays when they're available.
That breaks a 10-2 Arkansas run, and then the Razorbacks turn it over on the travel. Whatever he said to McBee, it worked.
Yeah, he is working the referees. He's working his club. He's working this crowd. Bruce Pearl, the maestro on the sidelines for the Vols.
Stephen Pearl saves that pass from going out of bounds. Melvin Goins.
Shot could. Just shoved it up there, got it on the glass, and Melvin Goins able to get that one to go, and the ball's back in control.
Washington. And he's called for the offensive foul. It's his third.
And another play by Stephen Pearl, stepping in, taking that hit.
I would dare say that at this point in time, Bruce Pearl believes that the technical was well worth it.
I would say so. His club has responded very well to it. The officials have responded well to it. The Vols have gotten a few calls here, and the crowd is excited again as well.
And of course, once he got that McBee kid straightened out.
Yeah.
Fortson called for the foul. He thought he had the strip. It's his second.
The Vols have turned things around here in these last few moments. That lead got down to 3. Cameron Tatum here at the line trying to get it back up to 9.
Clark checks back in. Steph Welsh goes out. Six to 1 now is the run for Tennessee since Bruce Pearl got the tee.
Washington, Kenny Hall, a little hand fighting on the block, and Hall picks up the foul.
Here's Skylar McBee. Look, he's on the lookout for when his coach comes back down there again. Guy never takes his eye off of him. Quick, he's coming.
He did have a smile on his face
Yes,
at the
he
end
did.
of the...
I mean, he really did. It was funny. I don't know what he said, but the kid was really grinning. What a story he is. Mom, I heard her in an interview talk about the check she had written. I think it was $4,000 for the second semester. You know, he's a walk-on.
Yes.
And this came just days after he hit that game-winning shot against Kansas. I don't think you have to be writing that for too many more years. I don't think.
No, probably. Coach Pearl's doing a lot of recruiting, and I'd say it's well worth it. The experience that Skylar McBee is having playing here at the University of Tennessee, learning from Coach Pearl both on and off the court, playing in front of these great crowds. Nothing like playing SEC basketball.
And Bryant's called for his second foul. Nice drive by Tatum. Will it count? Yes.
That's Washington. Cameron Tatum slicing to the basket. Great job getting to the hole, and Michael Washington picking up his 4th foul.
The bucket is big for Tennessee, but what's even bigger is the fact that Washington, who has slid over a bunch of times today on the help defense, is called for his 4th. Then Tennessee misses the free throw, and John Pelfrey can't get him out. Washington fighting for the loose ball. And now some jawing between Farmer and who is that for Tennessee?
Kenny Hall. I think we got double technicals here.
Pat Adams immediately signaled double technicals. I don't know whether there have been ejections or not. Here it is.
That ball being bounced around. You see Kenny Hall and Farmer get tangled up, and Kenny Hall trying to shake Farmer loose. Farmer doesn't appreciate that.
Yeah, that's the bump. If we can take it back a little further, though, guys, when they committed the foul, it looked to me like Farmer either intentionally or unintentionally got Hall in a headlock.
Yeah, unintentional, just his arms up above his head. Got an arm over Kenny Hall's shoulder as we see the ball bouncing
now
around.
Watch this.
Watch 20 in white and
All right,
2
so
in red.
Kind of like a double headlock, and Hall kind of slung Farmer. Farmer got back up to protest, and then, of course, being across the court, we can't hear what was said.
Pleasantries, I'm sure.
Farmer of Arkansas making his second personal, team 7. Hall of Tennessee, his second.
So technical called each way on Farmer. When we have a moment, we'll update you on some scores from other action underway in the SEC on this, the final Wednesday night of the regular season. Seems like just yesterday we got this thing going.
It does. This one has flown by.
Give and go, Tatum to Pearl, and Pearl had it knocked away from behind. Tennessee inbounds. Prince thought about it.
All 5 players outside the three-point line for Tennessee. Now they get into their
How
set
about
against his own.
How about our stat guide tonight? We've had all kinds of stats. We've had stats when Bruce Pearl's daughter sings the anthem. We've had stats on what his team's run is since the technical. We'll see if we can get numbers for you with the coat on as opposed to the coat off. The Vols lead it over the Hogs.
Sorry.
48, Tennessee has stretched it back out to a double-digit lead. And I'm telling you, Barry, Bruce Pearl got a little irate. But you know what? He got his team back in it.
Yeah, sometimes the technical is done on purpose to get your club rolling. As we see the leading scorers in this ballgame, Washington and Fortson leading the way for the Hogs. Mays and Hobson in double digits for the Vols. Very balanced effort tonight for Tennessee.
Wasn't balanced for Arkansas early as Washington got the first 8 points for Arkansas. But now you see he's only had 3 since, and he's on the bench with 4 fouls. So Tennessee inbounds with just 4 left on the shot clock. They got it inside to Prince, who lost it on the smackdown, so they'll try it again.
Man, great scoring opportunity there. The Hogs have to do a better job defensively and let them pass it in right at the basket.
Chisholm again. Britt got a hand on it, and another second goes off the shot clock.
The Hogs defensively just chipping away at the shot clock.
Now showing 2. And Chisholm inbounds for the 3rd time.
They'll be able to get 1 dribble and a shot.
Williams shot that one from the tee in Tennessee. Let's take a quick look at some other scores. Tonight, you see the first half.
That bubble team, those Bulldogs, need a win over Tennessee on Saturday, but can't afford a road loss against Auburn.
No, they cannot. Fortson tried that cross-court pass again and threw it away, and nobody back.
Well, the Vols, definitely the best in the SEC, maybe the best in the country in those leak-out situations, like an NBA team passing it ahead, getting easy baskets on those leak-outs.
John Pelfrey talking to his team as we take a look at the standings. And you see Mississippi State in conference at 9-5. But Barry, as you said, right now the guru of bracketology, Joe Lunardi, has them as one of the last 4 in. They can ill afford a loss.
Yeah, they need a quality win. So I think the game against Tennessee on Saturday is even bigger than this game against Auburn. If you think back to last year, Auburn kind of wrecked Mississippi State's season last year. Bulldogs were rolling along, and Auburn beat them twice coming down the stretch of the season last year.
Boy, what a home court advantage this has become for the Tennessee Volunteers. Bruce Pearl came in and re-energized this fan base, got them excited about what was going on, and then backed that up with results.
Yeah, it's amazing what Bruce Pearl has done here with this program, has energized the city of Knoxville about Tennessee basketball. Balls are rolling in a lot of ways.
Welsh had it blocked, but Fortson got it back. and it's Delvon Johnson with the bucket. That breaks a 10-0 run for the Vols since Bruce Pearl got the technical. It was Arkansas's first bucket in 3:45.
Tennessee had their biggest lead at 13. Arkansas has been down several times and fought their way back. We'll see if they can do it again.
Williams missed close in.
Nice set there for Tennessee. Good pass. Williams just didn't finish it.
What a ball fake by Powell. Then he had it blocked by Williams. Prince, nowhere to go. And it'll come back to Tennessee.
You see Prince maintain his balance after slapping it away from Welsh. Didn't travel, but nearly sat down, which would have been a walk and a turnover, but he was able to get rid of the basketball. Arkansas tipped it away. The Vols keep it.
Fortson gets the rebound and hustles into the front court. Guy he's like a pinball. He just keeps bouncing off people and finds a way.
And your coach tells you, hey, don't foul this guy. He's trying to draw contact, trying to get to the line, and that helps Courtney Fortson. His reputation for drawing so many fouls, defenders step away from him, and he's able to score it more easily.
13 points for Fortson. Arkansas with another stop. That time off the loose ball. Johnson can't get it to go. And a big miss for the Razorbacks.
That looked like a really easy opportunity there for Delvon Johnson, like he's just going to easily lay it in. I think he got himself a little bit too far under the rim. Couldn't get it off the glass.
Pearl, nice dish.
Another solid play by Stephen Pearl, finding the open man, Wayne Chisholm.
I'm telling you, you've talked about Stephen Pearl tonight, and I agree with you. He has provided some really, really solid minutes for this Tennessee basketball team tonight. And when you're the coach's kid, you got to be better than okay.
And he sure has been tonight. I mean, most of the time I've seen him this year, he has tried to do too much, gotten in a hurry, offensively especially. But tonight he has been very much under control.
Because the scrutiny on you is going to be about triple what it is on most other players. Chisholm, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, and on the roll now 10 points. Back to a 10-point lead. Chisholm the third ball in double figures. But Arkansas continues to battle and battle and try to stay in it.
Chisholm with those 3 fouls had to back away from Welsh and let him score. Hogs are not going away.
Those of you who might just be joining us, here in the second half, it was a 3-point lead at halftime. Then Tennessee stretched it out to 14. Arkansas mounted a comeback, pulled it to within 51-48 when Bruce Pearl got teed up. And after that, his team put together a 10-0 run to get this game back in perspective from their standpoint. Threw the coat off. He's got it back on now. His team back playing at its tempo. Hobson.
Off the dribble, 3-pointer. Difficult shot.
And a difficult stretch for Arkansas because when Fortson's not in there, you not only lose his points, but you lose the ability of someone to create for his teammates.
Washington, of course, with the 4 fouls as well. So Arkansas without their 2 top scorers.
Powell, nice dump to Johnson. Delvon Johnson, the junior from Rickton, Illinois, his first 2. Here you see the Tennessee offensive struggles after they got back up. And Chisholm is fouled. Dave Baker, Barry Booker back here with you in Knoxville on senior night. Is not only the senior players, but the managers and the support staff for this Tennessee basketball team honored. And it's a special senior class, Barry, because this is the first senior class that has been through beginning to end with Bruce Pearl.
A special senior class, and always special on senior night. You're thinking about this being your last time out on the court, your last time in front of the home fans. Very emotional. The Vols have handled it reasonably well, I think. They want it to end on a happy note, though. Finish it off right for their guys.
Saw Bobby Mays and J.P. Prince, a couple guys who transferred back into this program. But it was Wayne Chisholm who was the first big recruit that Bruce Pearl signed, and Chisholm now holds the Tennessee record for all-time games played as a volunteer.
Chisholm, number 15 all-time in scoring at Tennessee. He's number 7 in rebounding. As you mentioned, the all-time leader in games played. He's number 3 in blocks at Tennessee. He's had a phenomenal career here on Rocky Top.
And you saw at the end there Quinn Cannington, right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. One of those guys that is oh so important to a program in terms of getting guys ready for game action and giving them the kind of looks they need to see to be successful on the court.
Wayne Chisholm helping his cause here on senior night. A couple of free throw shooting opportunities, and the Vols extend back up to an 8-point edge.
13 has been the biggest lead. Chisholm now with a dozen. And Bruce Pearl asking the crowd to get up on their feet. The maestro conducting the orchestra. Powell can't get the turn to go. Knocked away from Cameron Tatum. It'll be Tennessee basketball.
The Vols have done a bit better on their defensive backboards here lately, keeping Arkansas from those second chance opportunities these last few minutes.
How about that penetration on the baseline as Hobson got free and came up with a finish.
At 6'7", he is a nightmare to handle when he starts driving it to the hole.
Clark penetrates inside that three-point line and gets the bucket to go.
Says this counts for 2 as well. Jumper.
I don't know whether this is a coach's decision, whether something's going on, but after that media timeout, Courtney Fortson still on the Arkansas bench.
He has been down for a while, along with Washington.
Washington's got the 4 fouls, though.
Yep.
Cameron Tatum gets in on the three-point act, and McBee cheers his teammates on.
Scotty Hobson has 3 dunks on the evening. And here he is with the 3rd, driving it down the baseline, slamming it home as Tennessee set up the pick and roll situation. Hobson turned away from that screen. All the defenders had stepped out to take care of him after he came off the screen. He went the other way, the easy slam.
Powell working against Pearl. And here come the Vols. Nice play by Clark as he knocked it off of Pearl. Fans and Stars of Tomorrow play on CSS today. And you see there, number 4 for Arkansas, Courtney Fortson checking back in, 13 points and 6 assists. As the crowd of 20,139 tries to come alive again. Fortson past Pearl, but it's Williams who's called for the foul.
You see this year, holding things together for this club, handling the discipline situations, and still getting Tennessee to a strong seed in the NCAA tournament.
The only team this year to knock off two teams that at one point in time held the #1 ranking. Chisholm checks back in, and Stephen Pearl gets a nice round of applause from this home crowd.
Well deserved.
Fortson got that one to go as he leads all scorers with 15.
Tennessee's starting to work on the clock a little bit when they don't have the fast break situations. They're trying to take a little bit of time.
Wow!
Tennessee doing some creative things to get opportunities around the basket.
Welsh with the answer. But the Vols with the acrobatics and a lead which is still at 9 points.
This big athletic team, and Bruce Pearl has come up with some schemes to use that size.
I think that was a little two-man game. I think that was just Tatum just giving Hobson a look, and Hobson has been up in the air all night, it seems. Chisholm. Boy, and look at Fortson. He intentionally created that contact to try to get a whistle. He is a finisher. Wow. So is that guy, Chisholm, with 14.
Sweet pass from Melvin Goins. He has been very effective in transition play for the Vols tonight.
Bruce Pearl implores his team to get a stop. In the last 3 minutes or so, they've done nothing but trade baskets with the Hogs. Wow, can't get that turnaround to go. And Arkansas gets it right back.
Wow.
Clark.
No numbers, bad shot there for Rodney Clark. 1-on-2, he pulls up for the three. 3 of his teammates didn't make it to the half-court line on that possession.
He's 3 of 9 from the field, 2 of 6 from outside the arc. He is a really quality young man. He is just trying so hard to make something happen. Heart is in the right place, but the decision-making is... And Welsh got it to go, but he's called for the offensive foul. The Vols 3:33 away from another SEC win. (73-64), number 13 Tennessee on top of Arkansas. And you see the balance in the Tennessee attack. And you see the players that have contributed tonight. Barry Booker, and that's kind of been the story for the Vols all season long.
Yeah, 5 players in double figures tonight. The Vols have moved the ball extremely well tonight, taking good shots for the most part all night.
6th time this season that the Vols have had 5 or more players in double figures. As you look at Bruce Pearl, oh, there he is. Skylar McBee's getting nervous again. If you missed it earlier, Pearl got the technical, and he just lit into Skylar McBee simply because he was there. He wasn't in the game. He wasn't the cause of it.
Hadn't played in the second half.
No, he really hadn't.
His rear end is sore. Been chewed on tonight.
That's what you call taking one for the team, Barry Booker.
There you go.
Hayes. A nice rebound by Chisholm.
Nowhere to go with that one. Got trapped under the basket.
A reminder to those of you who are just joining us, Memphis and Alabama Birmingham coming up next here on CSS as we play out the final 250 of this one. Fortson draws the foul. Number 13 tonight in terms of getting to the free throw line. And what a job your Commodores have done in terms of getting to that stripe this year.
Yeah, leading the SEC in that category by a wide margin.
Nice feed from Chisholm, but Prince couldn't handle it.
Vols didn't take much time off the clock with that possession either.
15th turnover by Tennessee, and Arkansas can't convert.
Bad shot. Stefan Welsh on the break. Those pull-up jumpers off the dribble three-point shots, they're enticing for a player. It seems like an easy shot, but they are very difficult, low percentage shots. Welsh took a quick one there. Tennessee making sure they take time off the clock this time.
Arkansas 5 of 19 from outside the arc. Powell steals it away. Clark with a ball fake. And he rushed that one too.
Great job by Prince getting out there after Mays flew by. The Vols have really focused on Rodney Clark. Didn't want to get him started on this night.
You know, it's been one of those deals tonight, Barry, where as many good things as Tennessee has done, they have been kind of streaky. But the main thing is, I'm sure from Bruce Pearl's perspective, is after that huge emotional win over Kentucky, his team came in and they took care of business tonight on senior night.
Only 65 points for Arkansas, a very explosive offensive club. The Vols are excellent at the defensive end. That has carried them through most of this season.
We mentioned it earlier as Welsh draws that foul. Tennessee 19-0 this year when holding opponents under 70 points. And you look at the field goal drought that we have endured here in the final stages of this one.
I think Kentucky is the best defensive team in the league, but Tennessee is not far behind them.
13 points for Scotty Hobson, who's put on an aerial show of his own tonight. 6'7" sophomore out of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and University Heights High School. Chisholm got that one on the help. And Prince with the exclamation point on this one.
Senior to senior, Mays to Prince. Easy finish for the Vols as they have put this one away.
Three-point shot is good by Jamal Farmer. And Tennessee likes to slow it down per normal, but when they can go end to end.
And they have that great size. It's so difficult to score on them around the basket. And J.P. Prince always seems to be leaking out, getting those scoring opportunities for the Vols. That time, the easy finish.
John Pelfrey is going to take a full timeout and talk with his team. There you take a look at the remaining schedule. Arkansas now, depending on what Ole Miss does here in its midweek contest, that game could very well be for the number 2 seed in the SEC West on Saturday, and Tennessee at Mississippi State. And at last report, Mississippi State was trailing Auburn by 10, and the bracketologist Joe Lunardi says that currently Mississippi State is one of the last 4 teams in the NCAA tournament.
Ole Miss trying to hold on to that 2 spot. They own the tiebreaker against Ole Miss, so if they win, to play for everybody this time of year.
Again, for those of you expecting to see the Memphis and UAB game, we've got it coming your way right after we play out the final 50.3 seconds. Here's a look at the updated scores. Kentucky with 6 against Auburn.
Surprise, South Carolina beating Alabama. Alabama suspended JaMychal Green, their second leading scorer, inside player, and able to go on the road and still win at South Carolina.
Anthony Grant has been very resolute in the fact that he wants his players, including players like JaMychal Green, to do certain things. There have been times this year when he hasn't started, and you know, it's not easy. But if you're a major college coach these days, you're going to have to deal with things like that off the court and deal with players like Scotty Hobson on the court.
Scotty Hobson high-flying and acrobatic in his point production tonight.
Washington with a tough tap.
Shot clock off now, so Arkansas down 8, hoping that Tennessee will miss a few foul shots. Great defense by Tennessee. Mays and Hobson running that break. Pretty pass by Bobby Mays, and just keep it in the gym, and Scotty Hobson is able to go up, get it, and stuff it home.
Only an 8-point game, only 32 seconds left. John Pelfrey, the coach, doing what John Pelfrey, the player, always did, and that is gut it out until the final horn. 2 free throws. Mays has a dozen.
Fortson.
And here comes one of those seniors. Quinn Cannington checking in for Scotty Hobson. Hobson with 15 as he goes to the bench. As Fortson hits the free throw, he's got 19. Arkansas trying to foul, but they can't do it. And Cannington trying to connect, and he can't do it. Fortson got it to go.
Hoping they'll foul him.
And they will not. The Tennessee Volunteers go to 22-7, 10-5 in the SEC. In all 8 seasons as a head coach, Bruce Pearl's teams have never failed to win 10 conference games. Big win for the Vols, Barry.
Big win for the Vols. Excellent job by them fighting through adversity and winning against the Hogs.
Tennessee, 5 players in double figures. Hobson with 15 points, and the Vols shoot 55% from the field. For Barry Booker, I'm Dave Baker saying thanks for joining us as Tennessee defeats Arkansas, the final 80-73. Folks, hang on. Don't go anywhere. We've got more great basketball coming your way. Stay tuned as Memphis takes on UAB. For our entire CSS crew, I'm Dave Baker. Thanks for being with us. More great hoops coming your way here on CSS.